The Oklahoma City Thunder, you see all of the accolades on your screen right now. How about this? They are the fourth youngest team to reach the finals and the youngest since the Blazers in 1977. Here is Cowboy Crunch with Cason Wallace and Alex Caruso.
Fellas, congratulations. You're going to the NBA Finals. You're going back to the NBA Finals. How does this feel here?
It feels great. I knew this team was special at the beginning of the year, and we talked about having a chance to do this. It took a lot of hard work, and we're still learning, and that's an amazing part. But, this group of guys has what it takes, and obviously we showed that we're back.
This was such a well-rounded effort by both of you, by everybody tonight. But this guy's defense tonight, it seemed like guys were running away from him. Did you feel that?
Definitely. That's every game. They know who the strong defenders are on each team, so they don't want to put him in the action. They're trying to get him off the ball.
Why do you think in a must-win situation for Minnesota, you were able to throw such a haymaker?
We got a bunch of dogs, man. We got dogs. We got 5 or 6 guys that could be an all-defensive team, and when we're all locked in on the same page, it's scary. Scary.
Your first year here, but what have you learned about this group of really young guys and why they're able to come together like this?
Yeah, we just got a team of competitors, man. Like, everybody on the team, you don't have to tell them to get up and get ready for the game. When the ball goes up, they're ready to go. And that backed with tremendous talent, great coaching, that's hard. That's a hard thing to stop.
Cason, how does it feel to be 4 wins away from a championship?
Feels great. Second season in the NBA, and I'm getting opportunities like this. You can't dream of it any better. We're going to enjoy it, but we got 4 more to go.
Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations, fellas. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Nice hat. Great hat.
Do you like it?
Yeah, great hat.
Anthony Edwards, Mike Conley, after being eliminated in Western Conference Finals, second consecutive year, 4-1.
That just allowed them to get on top of you guys so quickly and let the game get out of hand.
They came ready to play. We didn't. When you lose a game like this, it's not really too much to break down. They just did what they were supposed to do and won the game.
Why don't you think you guys came ready to play?
I don't know. They dominated the game from the tip. And can't do nothing but tip my hat to those guys. They came ready, man. So good job by them.
And just what did you maybe learn throughout the course of this series? I know it's really quick in the aftermath here, but as you kind of maybe reflect on the series a little bit here, what are the big themes that you take away from this for your game?
For my game? I don't know. Good question. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it yet, so good question. I'll come back to you later.
Mike, as you kind of think about the journey this team took this year, I know it stings in the moment, but just kind of how do you feel about this team and where it got to at this point in the season?
We overcame a lot to get to this point. It was never an easy road for us at all. Proud of the way that we, gave ourselves this opportunity. Obviously, it hurts right now, but, just looking back at everything that we had to kind of go through and, lineup changes and different guys, different situations throughout the season. Nobody thought we'd be in this situation this time, at this point of the year. So just got to think of that as a positive.
Mike, so many of the guys and Finch have talked about wanting to win this and win it, for you and just see your success in your career. Where are you just at from a personal standpoint right now?
It hurts, it hurts more than, I don't think anybody can really feel what I feel. I can't ask them to feel that, because they haven't been around as long and seen how, few opportunities you get at this, this chance. So for me, it's going to take a while, just to kind of dissect what we just did and, weren't able to accomplish. But, at the same time, proud of my team, proud of these guys, man. They really fought. Not just for me, but, just for the whole team. They did a great job of bonding together in the right time just to give ourselves this chance. So I appreciate them more than anything. And, we're going to try this thing again next year.
Ant, I know we talked about this a lot over the course of the years, but 2.5 years with Mike, just what is playing with him, over that time been like for you?
It's been great. Love Mike. Call him Unc, OG. Disappointed. Couldn't make it happen for him again this year, but like he said, we'll be right back. Try to make it happen for him again next year. Come a little more prepared, be ready. We know what to expect, so it should be fun, gearing up for next year.
Man, you guys are in the Western Conference 2 years in a row. They were the number one team in the West 2 years in a row. How do you view them as a obstacle in the future? And they obviously play a very specialized style, so unique to them own. How can you guys prepare between now and next year's playoffs to be better against that style?
That's so long from now, I don't know. But they're a great team. Well coached. Top to bottom, they're pretty good. So just tip my hat to those guys. Congrats, and happy for them.
And what would you say, given, they have a bunch of switchable defenders and, throughout the series, it seemed like, a lot of the ball pressure that they had got to, some of you guys with the turnover, especially today. What can you just say about, some of the uniqueness that they have defensively and some of the problems that they can cause for you?
They got a small lineup that they throw out there. I think with like Caruso at the 5, just a bunch of different lineups, man. Stuff that you really don't see. Kind of like the old Warriors would do. Go small, put Draymond at the 5. They super handsy. They pluck at the ball all night. They pressure the ball to get you out of your comfort zone, running plays and stuff. So they do a pretty good job, man.
And then also, it seems like they had inevitable runs kind of in this series. Like game 1, they went out big. You guys started to get a run. Same thing. They come back, respond. Yeah. Game 2, same thing. Yeah. Same thing today. What can you just say about, how frustrating kind of is that, being able to respond to each of the punches that, they
it's not frustrating, man. It's a part of the game. They're just like I said, man, once again, they're a really good team. Everyone here knows it. It's no surprise to nobody that this team is pretty good. Yeah, so they was ready, man. They're very prepared. And like I said before, well coached, top to bottom.
And you won a gold medal, so you know what it's like to be a champ. You know what it's like to get to the championship game. NBA side, however, you came up short twice. Knowing what it's like to be on the winning side, how much does it hurt? And what does it feel like to come up short of the finals 2 years in a row?
It's exciting. I don't know why people would think it would hurt. I mean, it's exciting for me. I'm 23. I get to do it a whole bunch of times. I'm hurt more so for myself, for Mike. I came up short for Mike. Like I said, we tried last year. We couldn't get it. We tried again this year. We're going to try again next year. But hurting is a terrible word to use. I'm good. Yeah.
And considering, looking at Mike and his longevity, how hard it is to get there, does that put this in perspective at all, too?
Yeah. I'm going to work my butt off this summer. Nobody's going to work harder than me this summer. I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, I'll try to make it happen again for Mike.
Mike, just in this moment, it does hurt so much, but how much do you look at what you all accomplished this season to get here 2 years in a row, something this franchise has never done before?
It's special to be a part of a team that, can handle a lot of the adversity that we went through and come out on the other end and be in this situation that we're in. It's disappointing for us, disappointing for our fans, disappointing for everybody at the moment, but man, we work, we do the right things. We, come in early, leave late. We do everything we can to try to prepare ourselves for this long season and the ups and downs of it. And to be back in the situation again says a lot about our team, our coaches, our players' resiliency throughout the season, and something that we just got to keep building on, keep learning from. It's unfortunate, but the best lesson is going through it, with your own experience, and these guys are feeling it. Obviously, I've felt this situation, and hopefully we just learn and get better from it.
And Finchie was saying that he had a conversation with you earlier in the season when things were going a little rough and just said, hey, what does a successful season look like for you? And you said, let's just get to the playoffs, win around, and see what happens. Mm-hmm. Given that you exceeded that, like, how do you view what you guys were able to do, ultimately?
Oh, yeah, we thought it was going downhill. We thought it was over for us. I mean, at one point, we was looking real bad. It was bad for us. Then we got hurt. But like Mike said, we turned it around. And I remember having that conversation with him, like, we just got to get to the playoffs and we'll figure it out. So yeah, man, we did pretty good this year, man. We just came up short again. And yeah, try to do it again next year.
And does it take a little while, like last year, to realize the finality, to realize how close you might have gotten once the conference final ends?
How close I might have gotten to the finals?
Yeah.
I mean, we lost. I can't think about how close I might have gotten. We lost. That's all that matters. They was the better team. They came out and beat us, punched us in the face, and we lost the game. We lost the series.
And when you say nobody's going to work harder than you this summer, do you have any particular things that you want to work on headed into this offseason?
Yeah, I'm not going to give out that information. Yeah, I'm going to keep that in-house this time.
Mike, what was, from a basketball standpoint, what was missing to be able to win this series?
Well, I think you look at the way that they played, and their movement, their body movement, their connectivity, in a sense that, their IQ, the things that they were doing, the adjustments they were making, were just a level above us. We were just a step slow at all those things, which kind of gave them,
like they on one string.
Yeah, they were like on one string. Defensively, they had
15 couplets on one string.
They had a plan. They executed it. And they didn't deviate from it. Those guys really, really locked in on that, and you can tell on both ends of the floor. It didn't matter, who scored, who had the ball. They were just finding an open person and making the next reads and things that we've gotten better at, but we're still working towards, I think. So we got a lot of room to grow and get better at it.
The last question to Jace.
Mike Orient, it seemed like watching them play defense kind of reminded me of watching you guys in like the Denver series a year ago, just the physical tenacity and really taking it to them. Not a bad defense this year by any stretch, but not at that level. What is it going to take in your minds, or is it possible to get back to that level of defense?
Okay.
You can have it.
Right now I'm not sure, but I know that, the frustrating part is that we've had that level of defense, and that we need to, whatever that is, to get it back. We have to find that that effort, that attention to detail. At this stage, I think it was more the details that we were slipping on, not so much the effort, not so much the personnel. We had a lot of guys that can guard, a lot of guys that one-on-one can guard, and team defense and stuff like that. But it was slippage on the next steps, you know what I mean? Like the higher, IQ things that we have to just get better at. So I think those are things that we'll have to improve for us next season.
Thanks, guys.
They said it, 15 puppets, one string, the connectivity that the Oklahoma City Thunder displayed in their 4-1 Western Conference Finals series win. 14 turnovers forced in that first half. 21 in the game for the Thunder, so kudos to them. But we're taking a look at the Timberwolves going forward, and they were second in salary in the NBA this season. You kind of look at the Thunder 25th to kind of give you an understanding of where these two teams are and decisions that need to be made in Minnesota. Back-to-back years going to the Western Conference Finals. Zeke, we have to look at the move of shipping Karl Anthony Towns for Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, as trying to massage that salary situation, and there's going to have to be some more movement for them to get under that second apron.
Yeah, and they have some tough decisions to make. And this is when, unfortunately, the way the salary cap is set up, you don't necessarily get rewarded for winning, Yeah. And they've done everything right there. They get to the Western Conference Finals. But now they got to make some tough decisions, and they got to figure out, how do they add to their team, get better, but maybe lose a player or two? Mm-hmm. And this is where you tinker at trying to get to the finals and win it at, because this is difficult right now.
It seems like a decision that may have to be made, right? If you're looking at them from that structure, Naz Reid, Julius Randle. 3D, to you, who's more important of those two guys if you got to pick one if you're the Wolves?
Ooh, great question. Well, when you sit in the war room, Zeke, you're as a group saying, we believe we can build around this particular guy because if we let him go, we can bring in the right pieces. Very similar to what the Thunder did. They let Giddey go to go get Caruso, and they were still under the cap where they could still sign Hartenstein. Hartenstein, excuse me. So that's where Minnesota is now. Which one of those guys are they saying they could use to get the right pieces to make them better? Our league is changing, Zeke. It's no longer the big three or the big two or the big one. It's 10 now. What Indiana's shown us and what OKC's shown us, you have to be able to go 10 deep. Foul trouble, injuries. Chet only played 35 games or 42 games this year. Yeah. So process that for a minute, that you were able to go deep into your bench with one of your core three guys being hurt the bulk of the season. To me, he's getting healthy at the right time with fresh legs,
Yeah, but I'll say this. You go 10 deep. However, if you got the right Lucas, and you got if you got the right guys that can score, because we see in the playoffs, you got to be able to score, right?
The ball in the hole, yeah.
And if you can't score, then you're going to be at a deficit. And, so scoring matters, but defense also counts too. But don't just dismiss and say, okay, the guys who are scoring 28, 27 points a night, that's not where the league is at, because OKC got one that's scoring 30, 31 points.
The leading
tonight.
scorer in the NBA this year.
Yeah, so, and
he was getting 30, 50 of the 82 games.
The last 2 years, he had the most 30-point games.
Yeah, so, this 10 deep is nice when you got one that's getting 32.
Right.
And he's the leading scorer in the NBA.
And his leadership for all those people who questioned J-Dub coming to this playoffs, I don't hear those questions anymore the way J-Dub has answered those calls.
And to that point about getting it right, yes, okay, rebuilding, try to, figure it out with the salary cap. But for the Thunder, you look at it like, okay, two guys from that 2022 draft to go along with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. One of the reasons they're 25th in salary is because they drafted the right guys to fit their culture.
Such a great point. Every game I've done, Zeke, with OKC, that's what Coach Dagnoff always talks about, that Sam just didn't get the talent right. He got the human being right as well. So listen to some of the things that Mike Conley just said, the details, buying into things. Well, that's what OKC is all about. No matter if the first guy or the last guy comes in, he's bought into the game plan. If I take one shot or 10 shots, I've bought into winning.
And this is where, excuse me when I say this is where experience matters. Because Presti has gone through this cycle once, right? Where we had, he had the first victory.
3 MVPs.
By drafting them, too.
Three MVPs. Now he's got 4 MVPs. Right. But his experience of, drafting, building, and he built an offensive team first. Now he's come back and he's built a defensive juggernaut, right? And this is where his experience, being on the job a long time, making mistakes, but, this is his 20th, 21st year?
2007 was his first season, so 18.
So this is his 18th year there, right? So, this is some Jerry Sloan, Utah Jazz type stuff that we're watching here in terms of this is how we play, this is who we're going to draft, and this is the success we're going to have.
So let me go right back to you on that, right? Because that was a clear-cut decision that they made in 2019. They had Paul George. They're like, we're going to ship him in the prime of his career. Get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was a guy that people thought was a rising star in the league, but for a lot of draft picks. Well, you look at it since then, right? Again, this is going to be the 4th youngest team that we've seen in the NBA Finals, and the youngest since 1977. So there's one thing to rebuild and to wait and to wait to wait. From the time they started that to now, these guys are just from the last couple of years.
I'm going to say it again. Talent evaluation. Talent evaluation. You say we give up Paul George and we go get SGA.
And Jalen Williams.
And
Jalen. Yep.
Okay. They knew the type of talent that they was getting and the talent they were letting go. So from an evaluation standpoint, right, Presti has been damn good.
Been good.
Now, he has been so unique. And the thing that I love about him is he's still old school. While most, and we flashed the camera on some of these presidents and GMs, and they sitting there in a hoodie. They sitting there, you know, looking like the people and the players, right? You can't tell who's who. Sam Presti, suit and tie, still old school. You know when he walks in, that's the boss. He don't look like none of the other players. He don't dress like SGA. He don't dress like none. There's a pecking order, and when he's sitting there, he's still old school. You know, suit and tie. COVID's over. You know, I'm not dressing like that no more.
So 3D, something that we discussed tonight that SGA won the MVP, and I want to go back to you on this, right? Because Anthony Edwards is someone that we have touted for sure, one of the guys we see as the face of the NBA. For Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, now winning the MVP award, now leading his team to the NBA Finals, now Western Conference Finals MVP.
Damn.
Should he?
Damn.
Hey, God, like, I'm the face of the NBA. Should it be that pronounced for him in the way that he's playing?
The only thing left for SGA in the OKC Thunder is to win it. What we're caught up in is the eye test, Zeke. What we're caught up in, it has to be this big market. It has to be flashy or dress or what. Well, he is. Yeah. He does kind of dress flashy. He does kind of dress nice. So nice he does check that box.
He look nice now.
So for me, it feels like when Tim Duncan was winning championships, the only thing we could knock on was San Antonio was a boring place to go. But I never got tired of watching them win. I never got tired of Ginobili and Parker winning.
Yeah.
But because Ginobili's from France or, you know, Timmy's mild manner, he's not rah-rah, he doesn't do all the things that brings that extra attention. SGA, just keep playing the right way and keep winning. You win that championship, we don't have to say you're the face of the league because now the kids, people in social media walking through the airport, there goes that champion. And that's when you kind of walk into being the face of the league versus asking for it, Zeke.
Well, when you talk about San Antonio, what they did, and Pop was smart, right? He went and put together the first international all-star team, right? Parker, Ginobili, you know, Duncan.
Virgin Islands.
Right. This is the first international all-star team that he went and got. And when you look at that San Antonio team, it wasn't like they all were Americans, right? So he had a international European all-star team playing in the NBA. What we have here in OKC, right, with Shai being from Canada, but also what they've done, very selective, is they said, you know, we're going to get the right guys, right personality, right temperament. And by the way, they don't have to be the number 1 draft pick or the number 2 draft pick. They can be just solid basketball players that fit our culture, fit our style.
Yeah, Chet Holmgren, the 2nd overall pick, but all the other guys, like you said, Jalen Williams, 12th, SGA, not the guy that they drafted.
Lou Dort didn't get drafted.
There you go.
Talent evaluation.
They said,
hey, talent evaluation. That's what it's all about. Can you evaluate talent?
Yeah.
It's worked out for the Oklahoma City Thunder, back to the finals for the first time since 2012. We'll look to hear from them next. You're watching Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T.